Alright everybody, let's talk about the new content update for 6/20/2018. Grand Master Yoda has gotten a rework. What? So I want to celebrate that, but kind of a discussion here about, Jedi in general and whether this kind of signifies the first step in a much grander scheme, which is to rework all the other Jedi, maybe leading up to the release of Return of the Jedi Luke. I don't know, but what I want to talk about is the rest of this update first, and we have the Fleet Battles table that was released, and it's going. I mean, we've been, basically in the know that this was coming at some point in the imminent future, and it's going to be coming out tomorrow. So you're going to get an opportunity to, farm some different characters. I guess I don't know exactly what they're going to be putting on the nodes yet. We can't really disclose any of that information yet either. So you have to wait till the tables come out, and we do know that you're going to be able to get some fleet material and also some of the new mats as well. So that's a place you'll be able to get those, and you'll be basically getting a whole bunch of farmable nodes. So I'm sure they'll use these nodes to put characters, shards, maybe ship shards. Who knows? Maybe they'll release a whole bunch of ships that will be farmable from the fleet tables, like I was hoping, and put a couple of new ships into Marquee as well, or Premium, and kind of build up this whole ship thing, since they did rework ships in Ships 2.0. But the other thing that is definitely going to have everybody in a tizzy here is the addition of the Gear 12 Plus pieces. And basically what this means is there's a 4th and a 5th slot now for Gear 12 that's going to be now able to have equipable gear. And these pieces are going to be a big bonus booster. I can't really disclose exactly what's going to be in those pieces, but you'll see tomorrow, and we'll also be able to disclose that information, I believe, at 11 o'clock tomorrow. So I have to get confirmation on that, but I can't tell you that you're definitely going to find out more information about that tomorrow. And they're going to be reworking the rewards for the Heroic Sith Raid to include some of these pieces, and I believe they're also going to be nerfing some of the rewards as well. So it's going to be kind of a trade-off, so you'll be getting a little bit less of the original rewards and some of these new rewards. So I hope they work it out evenly, so it's basically works out to be the same thing, and everybody's happy with it. I hope there's not a big uproar about the change to the rewards. But either way, if there is, I'm sure they'll take feedback from the people, from the player base, and then just make adjustments accordingly. But have to imagine that we're going to be eventually getting some more gear pieces for those slots. I'm glad we didn't go all the way to Gear 13 yet, but we will have 2 additional pieces that you'll be able to equip for each character, and eventually, I guess that extra piece will be the piece that gets us to Gear 13. But that's not yet. I'm assuming that that'll probably happen when we get a level cap increase, but that's just my opinion. But we also have a new character in the game, Range Trooper. Range Trooper is a fantastic kit and a great synergy with the Imperial Troopers. He's not necessarily going to be a super meta character for you, but he can give you a lot of bonuses in the raids, in TW, in the Sith Raid, in Territory Wars. He'll also be beneficial for you with an Imperial Trooper squad. He'll also be beneficial for you in Territory battles. But the character has a really fun kit, and he calls and assist, and he has the ability to give protection to his allies. So he's got a really cool kit, and he works well with Imperial Troopers. Definitely a character that I want to get as soon as possible. But obviously he's going to be a marquee character, so we're going to have to wait for that until he becomes a farmable character for myself. But for those of you that are going to be, shelling out the bucks to get Range Trooper, I think he's one of the funner characters that have come into the game in a little while. So he's going to be a lot of fun to play with your Imperial Trooper squads, and kind of mess around with different compositions there. But Grand Master Yoda kit coming soon. We'll be revealing that kit tomorrow. So for those of you that are interested in finding out what the abilities will be for Grand Master Yoda after the rework tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. You'll be able to get that information. But until then, you can wait in anticipation. And again, it's a great thing, because this is kind of the focal point of this conversation I wanted to have. Is I have a feeling that this was coming at some point, and I was hoping that whenever they do this rework, they add a leader ability to the character that gives him, you know, some sort of viability in the meta, and then they can continue to rework some of the other characters, Mace Windu, Plo Koon. You know, some of these characters have gotten literally zero attention since the game was released, and kind of lead up to our, our mega character here, Return of the Jedi Luke, which will be the first Jedi Luke that we have in the game with the Jedi tag. And that would be amazing, because that could possibly turn the tide of the Sith meta, and would be really a perfect way to transition into the next meta, going from Sith to Jedi. And I would love to see the addition of Return of the Jedi Luke for sure, but I'm also really excited to see a Yoda that can actually be used in the game at high level gameplay. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case yet with his kit, but I do want to say that when or if they decide to rework some of the other Jedi around him, that, coupled with a synergy with Yoda, could possibly put the Jedi back into the limelight again, which is a place that they haven't been, since the days of Qui-Gon Jinn Zeta, which is quite a few months to even a year back now. So you're not going to see, I think, the Jedi jump into it right away, but hopefully this is an indication that we're headed in that direction, and eventually going to get some sort of a Jedi synergy that hopefully leads up to the release of a really awesome Jedi character. And if it's not Return of the Jedi Luke, hopefully it's another Jedi that we haven't had in the game yet. Maybe it's Ki-Adi-Mundi, maybe it's light side Darth Revan, who knows? Maybe it's, there's so many ways they could go with that, but it would be tremendous if they had, some other Jedi characters. And now that they're done with all of the solo content from that movie, we're going to be probably getting some new things coming, some different types of content. I have a video that I made earlier this week talking about my thoughts with the First Order, the possibility of getting some of those characters from The Last Jedi. So we'll have to see if that happens. But, again, this is a way they could go, and we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. But moving along here, so with the Grand Master Yoda rework, they're also going to be releasing a new Mythic tier to the Grand Master Yoda's training event. And that'll be on June 23rd. So we'll be able to actually get probably a new achievement. So we'll probably get a couple of Zetas for that as well. So that's pretty cool. Whenever they do these Mythic events, they always release some sort of an achievement for that in the game, and give you reward for completing that. So we'll probably get some crystals and some Zetas. And that's really the exciting part about completing that Mythic event. But I'm looking forward to it, because honestly, the first Grand Master Yoda event, when it was really hard the first time, was probably the most fun I had of any challenge in this game. I mean, it was a couple hours of me just sitting there, just trying to figure Yoda out, and then finally, you get the 7-star Yoda, and it's like a reward for that accomplishment, and it was really awesome. And since then, it's really been more about attaining the characters than it was about actually defeating the character to get him to 7 stars. So they've kind of changed their focus on how you attain these legendary characters. It's more about, the farm, I guess, now, than anything else. Although there is some, cool stories behind these heroes' journeys that they're doing, with Luke and, with Rey. But I'm looking forward to the Mythic event. Hopefully it's a hard, it brings back a hard tier to the Grand Master Yoda event. That'd be a lot of fun. But moving along, the event for Range Trooper is going to be downrange, and that'll be on June 21st. And they're going to be adding all this premium gear to the PvE shipments. So all these new gear pieces that are coming into the game for Gear 12 Plus are going to be added to the PvE shipments. So now you can, purchase these pieces and help to, increase the ability of some of these characters. Now, some of this stuff they've said is going to be basically like getting, a boost from like Gear 11 to Gear 12. So this will be a nice increase to the characters' abilities and statistics, and these pieces, could be, worth the investment. I'm not sure if they're going to release possibly a pack in conjunction with this, or if any of these pieces will be released into, let's say, gear packs or anything like that at some point. But we do know that we're going to be getting them from the Sith Raid, and you'll be able to buy them from the PvE shipments if that's something that pleases you. But moving along, the reinforcement ability materials are no longer going to be available in Cantina Node 6A. You'll only be able to farm them from the stages in the fleet battle. So on stages 3, 4, and 5, in nodes 3, 4, and 5 of fleet battles, you'll be able to basically, they're going to be farmable on nodes in stages 3, 4, and 5 for fleet battles. So you'll be able to get them there, and you'll be able to get them on the first time you complete any of the battles for the fleet on the fleet table for fleet battles. So that's pretty cool. Young Han Solo and Vander Chewbacca are going to be available, for PvE shipments. So you'll be able to farm their shards from there as well. Again, I'm a big fan of the young Han Solo character. A lot of people like Vander Chewbacca. Vander Chewbacca seems to be a little bit more meta, but I like young Han Solo's kit. A lot of offense, a lot of damage. There's a stream that we did where he was banging out like 150k, 160k in the heroic Rancor raid, which is a lot of fun. But again, he's not necessarily a huge meta character for the arena right now. Although with the right pieces around him, he could definitely help out in a lot of other areas of the game, which is cool. But they're going to be in the PvE shipments, and they're creating a ship ability materials mega pack. This is the Range Trooper pack, and there'll be a list of bug fixes for tomorrow as well. So that's pretty much it as far as the content update is concerned. But again, I just want to kind of circle back around here to the conversation we were having earlier about Grand Master Yoda and what his rework really means. And I have to think that this is just the first piece in a larger piece of the puzzle here. And I'm hoping that means that we get some sort of Jedi, like a large Jedi rework, but maybe they'll do it in bundles. There's so many Jedi in the game. I mean, if you think about all the Jedi that haven't been touched in forever, I mean, Mace Windu did have a rework a long time back. It was a horrible rework. It was one of the first reworks that they did to a character. So, I mean, he was one of the first characters that they kind of gave some attention to. He's never really been a viable character even after that rework. But besides Mace Windu, Jedi Knight Guardian, Plo Koon, Eve Koth, obviously Grand Master Yoda's finally gotten some love here. But Aayla Secura, I mean, you have, who am I not thinking of here? Anakin Skywalker. You have, obviously Qui-Gon Jinn's gotten some love since back then. But there's basically, I mean, a large pool of Jedi characters that just haven't been touched. And I'd like to see, obviously maybe characters like Eve Koth don't necessarily need to be meta characters, but Plo Koon, Mace Windu, Aayla Secura, these characters should be in the meta. They're Jedis, and they're definitely fantastic characters from the lore, from the history of Star Wars. I mean, Ahsoka Tano. Obviously, we have a Fulcrum now, but Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano is not a Jedi. The Ahsoka Tano Padawan Ahsoka Tano could totally get a rework that would make her fantastic, and that would be awesome too. So, I mean, hopefully that they give some attention to this. I used to like the Padawan Ahsoka Tano character. I used to run that character in Arena back when Qui-Gon Jinn and Yoda, when Yoda first came into the game and Qui-Gon Jinn gave them the speed bonus. You know, and after she actually got a little bit of a rework for speed in her unique, I used her for a long period of time. So I mean, I would like to see, you know, definitely some of these characters come back into a, you know, a viable state in the game where, you know, I could use them for at least, you know, some other, you know, portion of the game's content. I mean, even if I can't use them in arena, if at least they were good enough for me to use them in territory wars, that'd be fantastic. I mean, if I could take out, you know, a Night Sister squad, or take out a I don't know, a First Order squad with the Jedi, at least I'd have that, you know, that ability to use them for that. And, you know, it would only take a, you know, an investment in a little bit of gear to get them all to gear 12 and, you know, ready to, you know, be viable, maybe some Zetas. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, we'll have to wait and see, you know, what comes after this Yoda rework, but it is nice to see that they're giving the little green guy some attention. And, you know, I love Yoda as a character, and I'm glad to see he's finally getting some love. But overall, you know, definitely an interesting patch. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of rage about these gear pieces, but you know, again, these are definitely cool increases. I'm glad that they didn't go with gear 13 yet. You know, but obviously I do think that they're eventually going to gear 13, and we are eventually going to get a level cap increase. So that's probably in our future at some point. It's been a long time. It's been over a year since we've had a level cap increase, so it's definitely due anytime now. So we'll have to wait and see when that happens. But, you know, again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, may the Force be with you guys, and I will see you next time.
Yes, Master.